give the guys credit that were on the bench, because Horton Tucker, Wesley Matthews, when was the last time we saw him play?
All right, I'll get to that in just a moment. So Marc Gasol comes in, and what does he do in the third quarter? He hits 2 big threes.
Yeah, he did.
And what did he do early in the fourth quarter? He hit another big 3. So he makes 3 out of 4 3-point shots for your team, which ranks 23rd in 3-point shooting.
Yes.
23rd? So meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Denver Nuggets are going 6 of 24 from 3. You know why? Because they said, it's no LeBron. It's not even any Schroeder out there. So we got this, and they took their foot off the gas. They did not take you seriously, and they had their worst shooting night in probably 10, 12 games. Right. 25% from 3. Meanwhile, suddenly you go 43% from 3, in large part because of Gasol. And who bothers Jokic more than anybody on your team? It's Gasol. Yeah. It used to be Dwight.
Because you know why, Skip? I think the thing is that he understands how the European play. He's a European big man.
He can mirror all of his slyness, all of his sneakiness, all of his shrewdness. Gasol knows it all. Right. He grew up with it.
He wanted to say last night, well, he do a lot of flopping because every time you touch his body, Jokic's doing it. And he makes it tough on the official, Skip. Is he really dislodging him? Is he really doing that? So but Marc Gasol at 7 foot tall did a great job, Skip, on both ends of the court. Give him credit for that.
Hey, on Jokic, he did an extraordinary job.
But they made it tough on Jokic all night, though, 12 of 28.
But he can match. Gasol matched him in the fourth quarter with just width.
Right.
Because Gasol can't jump. He can't move.
No.
So he's glacial, but glacial works against Jokic because Jokic can't jump, and Jokic isn't that quick. He's just sly. So you need to just get in his way and stay in his way, and he can't.
You know why Gasol bothers him? Because Jokic used athleticism against you. If you a big guy, you athletic,
that is true.
He gonna pump you and lay it up under you. Well, Gasol ain't got no athleticism, so he ain't going nowhere. He's like, well, I'm still right here.
Okay, so I'm giving Vogues no credit for that because it was a desperation move because the big Penguin got his 4th foul.
And because here's the other thing also. You saw last year, we know Trez can't bother Jokic. Nope. We saw that in games 5, 6, and 7.
With the Clippers.
With the Clippers. Yes. So we know that's not a favorable matchup.
In fact, that's probably the single biggest reason that Montrez is no longer a Clipper were those 3 games against that guy.
Right. Because what he gives you offensively, when you playing a guy like Jokic, Skip, you got to basically match him. You got to be somewhere around 25, 30 points to match him because that's what Jokic's going to give you. He's going to give you 25 to 30. He's going to give you somewhere around 8, 9 rebounds, 8, 9 assists. So you need an offensive guy that if you can't shut him, hold him down to below that, you need to match those numbers. Well, that's what Trez is going to give you 12, 14 points. That's not enough. So Gasol came in, spaced the floor, hit some threes. Now Gasol's going to have to inch out there a little closer. Now the lane's going to be open a little more. But Skip, they got into the bonus with like 4.5, 5 minutes left, and the Lakers are still shooting jumpers. AD, get your butt on the block.
Good point. But how did they suddenly surge to a 14-point lead, the Lakers, early in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Wesley Matthews, along with Gasol. Why did Wesley Matthews get into the game? Because there's no Schroeder. He's now in the protocol. I don't know if he has COVID or whatever, but they're saying 10 to 14 days. So I'm assuming he has COVID.
He probably has it.
Probably has it. I don't know that for a fact, but probably so. So all of a sudden, Wesley Matthews has not played in a game in 5 of the last 6 games. He is DNP.
Yes.
I forgot he was on the Lakers. And all of a sudden, he and Gasol are on the floor, and neither has played much lately.
Right.
And what happened? They go on an 11-0 run thanks to those 2 guys both assisting each other and making threes and making Wesley had one up and under for another basket.
I don't know how he made that, Skip.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
Yeah, I just know like he ain't finna make that one.
So I can't give Vogues any credit because he was forced to go to
no
him
choice,
because he had no Schroeder. So all of a sudden, 2 unknowns, two has-beens, 2 forgotten men come in and lead them on a charge to where they're up 14 points with 8:23 left. And then, you know, the rest of the story. Here came Denver because there went Vogues. He had to put his starters back in.
You didn't have to.
Well, and you're all over him for it.
Yes.
So
why would you do it? Look, I think we've seen coaches in the past. We saw it in Cleveland one year, they made that comeback without Kyrie and Kevin Love on the floor. Remember, they was down by like 20-something points. And LeBron in the second unit, and Ty Lue's like, nah, they balling. We're going to leave them in. Why would you do that? I mean, you see Drummond is struggling. He's struggling offensively. He's struggling defensively to contain Yoke. Why would you put him back in? Why would you put Kuzma back in? Don't do that. Let him ride. Horton Tucker is the only guy, Skip. He's the guy that can take the ball and get his shot. He going to the lane. He getting to the lane. Now you're gonna have to take like 2 or 3 trips because he gonna get there. Oh, y'all turn me away. I'm gonna come back out. I'm gonna come again. And that's what I love about him. He's gonna make some mistakes. He's a young player. He's 21 years of age. But you understand why that they wouldn't include him in that trade for Kyle Lowry. Schroeder and KCP would have been in Toronto had they said, okay, we'll take Schroeder and KCP. Y'all keep Tucker. But they were insistent on Tucker, and the Lakers weren't budging off that.
So are you better this way?
Yeah, I like what you call. I like Tuck. Tuck gonna be good. Yeah,
Tuck.
Yeah,
Tuck.
Man, go ahead. Don't worry about all this. All I'm saying is that 5-2, 5 seed.
I call him Big Play Tay.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You call it what it. But look, I love what I saw from AD. You got to admit, this was the most aggressive we've seen AD since he's been back.
By the way, AD in the fourth quarter last night was 1 of 5 with 1 rebound. You like that?
No, I don't like that. Guess what? The 5 shot. Besides the floater, everything was jump shots.
Okay.
AD, get your butt on the block. They're in foul trouble. They have you in the bonus. Get your butt on the block.
Get your butt on the block when there's a bigger butt already taking up the block belonging to the big penguin. I told you he's not a good fit for your team.
In a situation like that, Skip, Gasol had it going in the fourth.
He did.
So now leave
but
Drum.
Gasol can play off AD just fine.
Because Gasol can go out past the three.
He will, because he likes to shoot threes.
Right.
Drum shoots no threes.
No,
I'm sure he's taken one some point.
Yeah, at the end of the shot clock.
Right.
But look, as Jenny's question, are they back? They're not back, but it was a huge win. They got something they can hang their hat on. When you don't make shots, if you guard the other team, you force them to take more difficult shots, and now you can stay somewhat close. Because just think if they weren't playing, if they hadn't got this big lead, Skip. So now you're in a tight ball game. It's a tight ball game. You go 5 minutes without scoring, you're gonna lose by double digits, and that's what we've seen over the last 2 games.
Okay,
they go these long stretches against Toronto, and now they basically get blown out. These long stretches against Sacramento, and they end up losing a close ball game.
Okay, so they hung on in the end, thanks in part to the referees saying,
"Man, referees, stop doing that."
They said we can't have the Lakers missing the playoffs.
Why you see? You're doing so well.
Yeah.
You giving us credit.
Yeah.
You was like, okay, Gasol came in, and you had Maxwell. Guy coming in doing well, Wesley Matthews.
Yep.
You say THT was doing his thing, and then you had to flip it. Take all that away and blame the officials. We don't do that here, Skip. We don't blame officials.
I would suggest to you that was a season-saving win, upset victory over the team that had been the best in the West over the last 3 weeks, right?
Did Campazzo blindside block AD?
No,
Yes.
He was just running. He's just finishing out his pass.
Well, next time, look where you were going.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a little mighty might. AD could accidentally step on him.
Yeah, you know when somebody, but you walk in and you're not paying attention to somebody bumps into you, you're like, that is, excuse you.
No, look down. Excuse you?
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse you down there? Did you get in my way? I'm sorry, I stepped on you.
That's what the dude told me. I was walking to CVS. He bumped into me.
Yeah.
Talk about watch where I'm walking.
Okay. So the point is, in the bigger picture, I think last night will speed LeBron's recovery. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. He'll say, ooh, I think I got to get back to be a part of this.
Think about this, Skip. Now, they don't play again until Thursday. I can see.
But guess who they play on Thursday?
No, Skip, we don't look at the schedule. We play the schedule. Who's in front of them? We don't worry about that.
Time to look at it now.
Why?
It's coming up.
You're going to have to deal with us one way or another.
Hey.
We don't worry about that.
Now you can look down because the team in the basement is coming upstairs to play you on quote-unquote your floor.
They have 3 games in 4 days. The likelihood of LeBron playing probably before Saturday, Sunday is not very good.
Oh, you think he'll duck the
Skip, we're not ducking.
Yeah.
What we know about LeBron James is about 65, 70%. And in the second half, basically, the ankle rendered him useless. LeBron, look, I don't care if LeBron James is not close to 100%, they're not going anywhere. Play in, play off, number 1, number 2 seed, it does not matter. You know that. Everybody in the basketball community knows that. Without LeBron being close to 100%, the Lakers are doing zilch.
Last night was a survival game for your Lakers. Thursday night is a statement game for the Clippers, so you better be ready for this.
First of all,
would you like to put an extra case on it?
No, Skip. Okay. First of all, the euphoria of winning a championship last year is still pretty high in our building. You guys ain't won jack.
I noticed. Did you see the streamers coming down?
Y'all don't got streamers.
I think they won another
Y'all don't have streamers.
Yep.
What are y'all celebrating?
We don't need streamers.
Yes, you do.
We don't need streamers. We're about to own that building.
We might get y'all on Thursday.
Yeah. Well, do you want a case? I'll give you a case.
Let me see how I go.
Hey, you got Gasol?
And let me see how
you
I
got
go.
Wesley Matthews?
I got to see if I can get some red clay and vinegar sit up from Georgia and put that thing on LeBron's leg.
Really?
Right? Yeah, put that on the ankle.
I don't think he needs anything. I think he's just fine.
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
Well,
You feed the man.
it was a moral victory. You know, they're back, they're going there. But yes, the Clippers will be challenging coming up later this week. I have no doubt we will get to it. We will continue talking about it until they play each other. But you know who else had quite the performance last night? Russell Westbrook. Did he back up his coach, proving he is the second best point guard